Okay, it's quite a rare day when we find a very nice XK140, and this is exactly that. So this is a 1955 car, June 55. Was originally exported to the US, was brought back into the UK not so many years ago, and it's been subject to a very good restoration indeed. It's not one of ours, but we've been through it front to back, as we always do with these cars, and I've got to say it has been restored to an exceptional standard. Just looking around the car now, as you can see, coachwork's very straight, paintwork is very good, I've got to say. And when we get onto the inside, you'll see that the owner has had some nice little additions, a few tweaks done, which I think are really in keeping with the car and really add to its character. So 1955 XK140, so it's a 3.4 litre engine, and as I say, originally exported to the US. Part of the restoration here in the UK was to convert the car back to the right-hand drive, and I've got to say that too has been done very well indeed. So let's have a bit of a closer look. So as I say, this was recently restored, so the chrome work is very good, paintwork is exceptional. I've got to say, if we'd painted this car, we'd be very proud of it. It's been done very nicely indeed, and the car is as clean underneath as it is on top here, and we're going to attach some nice high-res photos of the underneath of the car for you, so you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Full stainless steel exhaust on the car, as you'd expect, and the chassis has been painted in a very original looking sort of semi-matte black finish. There's no sort of under seal and all that rubbish under there. It is clean and well painted, well prepared, and it just looks the part. So let's have a look inside. So as I mentioned, there's been a few sort of interesting tweaks in here which I actually quite like. So we've got the sort of Triumph-esque overdrive switch incorporated in the gear knob, obviously not standard. Would have had a switch on the dashboard, but I think it's quite a neat sort of upgrade, if you like. And if we climb in, I quite like that engine start from probably an aircraft, or maybe an auxiliary power unit for an aircraft or something. Anyway, very aeronautical. I think it really works quite well in the car, to be honest. There's a few additional sort of upgrades that the owners also thought of. There's an additional boost pump on the fuel system, and as you can see, seatbelts fitted. And I've got to say, I've driven this car previously when it first came into us, and it drives exceptionally well. So nice wall-cloth headlining, and the trim has been executed quite nicely, very nicely in fact. And it's just a little additional oil temperature gauge that the owner's fitted there. So I think all of that stuff is quite in keeping, and as I say, it's quite interesting, and as a car to be sort of used for some spirited driving, or maybe some sort of semi-competitive rallies, it sort of gives you quite a good starting point. And while we're in the cockpit, there we go, quite a nicely executed rear seat delete there, and through loading. So quite a practical car, and as I say, the trim's been nicely executed in here. It's very good. So we've got a leather safety strap fitted to the bonnet, which I think is a nice little touch. And there we go. So sandcast carburetors, again a nice little period feature. Nice tubular exhaust manifold there, a few other upgrades as you can see, stainless steel expansion tank, and yeah, overall a very tidy and nicely executed engine bay. Quick look in the boot. So there we go. Not a vast amount of room in 140s, but you know, you can get some squashy luggage in there for a weekend away. Okay, so we're in the cockpit now, so we're going to start her up and we're going to take her for a spin. On the button, literally. Let's see how she goes. Impressions are a very nice smooth engine, I've got to say. I know we're literally just coming out of the out of our premises here, but already the engine feels very smooth. More than can be said for our service road. Okay, here we go, the open road. Busy main road, so overdrive out. Yeah, I really like the way this drives. Very smooth engine, very willing, and we're on some pretty broken sort of backcountry roads here, and I've got to say, for a 140 this is remarkably tight. Very little in the way of body rattles and creaks, if any at all, and yeah, really feels like a well sorted car. Gearbox on a 140, so no synchromesh on first. You need to hit a standstill before selecting first gear, and here we go, a bit of clear road. It's got some long legs on it, and you could do some serious miles. restored 1955 XK140. It's had a lot of thought put into this car, and there are a lot of useful upgrades. I think some of the standout features of this car, there are the little sort of in-keeping trick bits in the cockpit with the starter button, for instance, and the overdrive switch moved to the top of the gear lever, which is quite clever and quite nice to use. But also, more substantially, rack and pinion hydraulic power steering on this car, which goes a long way to explain why the car handles and drives so well. Alternator upgrades, so she charges properly, got plenty of electrical power, and a myriad of other little upgrades to the car that make it drive as well as it does. And it is a really fun car to drive, I've got to say. Matching numbers, this car, so although converted from left to right hand drive, it is matching numbers, and we love it. It's a really nice car. If you'd like to have a drive in this car, I'd like to come for a demonstration. If you're interested in this car, we'd love to demo it to you. Just give us a call, 01 746 765 804, or mail at classic-motor-cars.co.uk. It is a great 140. It's the nicest one I've driven for a very long while. I think you go a long way to find one that's been restored to a higher standard, and it's definitely a car worth having a look at. Thanks very much.